special guest for y'all today. To my right, y'all's left is Justin Lomas from JJ Lomas Entertainment. Welcome, man.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
And to his right, y'all's left, is the one and only Greg Jones from Urban Jedi Knights, y'all.
Greg Bellum, aka Darth Bellum. Am I still a special guest? I'm home here.
This is home.
This is here more than me, I'll tell you that much.
Oh my God, Greg's back.
What's up, y'all? Listen, so handsome. Listen, I don't need this.
I'm your boy Dev, aka D-Lock, as y'all all know, and my man to my right.
World-class fashion designer, Avatar Slang.
Oh, that's different. Okay, as I said before, we are Culture Hero. Today, we are going over Avengers Endgame. Spoiler. I can't say free because it's gonna be full of spoilers, y'all.
We gave y'all a week.
Breaking this down.
It was so hard. I did a spoiler free. It was so hard to be spoiler free.
Yeah.
I had to be so big. I was like, I can't tell you what happened, but the thing happened at the place with that person, and it was crazy.
So vague.
Because if anyone heard if they heard that Tony Stark's hair fell on a table, then they would be pissed at someone that they spoiled something.
Yeah. That's true.
Crucify them.
These people, man.
So we're gonna break it down in different parts, you guys. The first way how we're gonna break it down is by characters. We're gonna tell y'all basically our favorite characters, what we like, what we didn't like, strongest characters, weak characters. Because this movie was so long and so great in so many ways. It's just so much. So we're gonna start off with our favorite characters that we've had for 22 years. 22 movies. 10 years. Sorry. It feels like 22 years, don't it?
It's sure enough, dude.
Derek, you want to start?
Yeah. So we're gonna break down the characters.
Yeah, let's do characters first.
I'm not good at breaking down characters the way y'all do, but the way I'll do it.
Thank you. That was such a compliment, right there.
Yeah, I appreciate.
No, I'm dissing you.
Greg.
No, I do it differently.
Oh.
For instance, when we're talking about Captain Marvel, I'll start with her. People are like, oh, I expected more out of her. She sucks. I don't think that means she sucks, because the character is only as good as the representation, the portrayal,
right?
As the pen. So I'll congratulate or what's the opposite? I'll diss. How they interacted in the progression. So I liked a lot how it kind of went back to the roots of what it was before. There's a lot of characters.
Okay.
Because it felt creative, but I think it's also convenient for them to do the snap.
Yeah.
Because now you have way less characters to deal with.
Right.
That's a hard thing to do, to juggle all those characters for 2 movies. So I liked how, for instance, Black Widow and Clint, Hawkeye. It just hit me that they never called him Hawkeye.
Yo, they didn't.
Yeah.
Yo, that's crazy.
Well, in this movie, he's Ronin now, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think they ever call him that, do they?
They don't use a lot of nicknames.
But you just assume, because I think it was months before the movie came out. They had toys and they said Ronin.
Yeah. The toys definitely tell you who they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
But as far as Hawkeye, no, it's usually Agent Barton. But yeah.
Good catch, man. Good catch.
They don't. It showed their friendship, and with each interaction, it shows you different social things, low key. Usually in movies, one's a male character, female character, and they're the same type of character. They're the same class of character. They're both spies. They have to love each other. That just shows true friendship. I like that.
Right.
Them fighting to sacrifice themselves for the Soul Stone. That represents friendship.
That was heavy one.
Yeah, that was heavy.
Yeah.
And even outside the corny social themes of it, it's entertaining. They're fighting to sacrifice themselves.
Yeah.
They were really mixing. There's movies, X-Men, that don't have any fighting scenes that even compare to that little thing.
Yeah.
Now here's something. Did you have any idea beforehand whether it was going to be Hawkeye or Black Widow?
I said Hawkeye for completely different reasons.
Yeah.
That was my guess. I feel like Marvel likes to feed us what we think is going to happen, just to sometimes bamboozle us.
Just kidding.
Yep, exactly. I thought it was going to be Hawkeye because when I was really into comics in '08.
It's a great time to be into it, by the way.
Yeah, I think so.
Between '04 and '08.
Yeah.
Man.
Hawkeye was dead. Like for a good amount of time.
Okay.
Like Hawkeye being dead was the norm at the time. So my mind just ran. I'm like, wait, they probably see Hawkeye as disposable.
So you thought the movie version was eventually going to catch up to the comic book version you were reading?
As far as that, yeah.
Okay. They were going to work that plot line in.
Yeah. What I didn't like about the characters, maybe I liked Hulk and I didn't like Hulk. I know y'all didn't, but I guess maybe I'm not a big fan of Hulk, but I think I feel like they don't dig in with Hulk enough. So I feel like him doing the Bruce and Hulk being one thing, I feel like that was at least some type of progression.
Or rather, like, what characters stood out to you most? Because we all know there's a bunch of characters in this movie.
Cat.
Okay.
Easily.
Okay.
Yes.
He connects to me, and I felt like his effect rubbed off on them. Like, well, maybe Thor too, because they were ready for the smoke when Thanos was sitting there on the rock, like
Debo.
Yeah, like he lives in Inglewood.
About the action.
And it was just so seamless the way he caught the hammer because it was so instant. There was no build up to that. It was like we initially thought Thor was catching the hammer.
He was going to reach his hand out and grab it.
But the hand was capped, so we were like, oh. But
I guess not to cut you off, but I guess you remember.
Take over.
No, you're still listening. But you remember like Age of Ultron,
right?
When he's trying to pull the hammer and you hear like a
and it wiggles.
And Thor's like,
yeah.
and he's like,
good catch because that actually became a YouTube video. Well, became a couple videos.
Yeah.
How about I could go on for a while, so I'll give y'all some spotlight.
I think to springboard off you, I think definitely Cat was one of my favorites, just because every little reference you have from like past MCU films built up to his character in this movie. You had the thing, like I said, in Age of Ultron, him moving Thor's hammer. He finally got to dance with Peggy.
Yes.
And the thing that I'll say that still surprised me the most was that elevator scene in Endgame where they were paying homage to not Civil War, Winter Soldier. But I was so surprised he just knew about everything from the future, so he's like, Hail Hydra.
That was in the comics too, actually.
Was it really?
Because 2 years ago, I think, Captain America said Hail Hydra, but nobody knew why he said that. Like, he was just secretly a part of Hydra the way the SHIELD soldiers were.
Yeah.
So that was a thing.
Either way, I mean, he still stayed true to who he was for me. And like I said, he got what he wanted in the end.
Yeah.
Thor was awesome. I mean, I loved seeing. I want to say like when he got Stormbreaker and Mjolnir in one hand, he looked like a Viking almost.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like that was cool. I like that outlook on it.
Yeah, because we never seen him as that type of Viking. Yeah, I like that.
Especially just.
I did that at first though.
The Endgame really paid tribute. Even you could see it in the credits to the original like MCU members: Thor, Hulk, Iron Man, Hawkeye, Black Widow. And like all of them had their signatures at the end of the film. I mean, I can dive into it later, but there was maybe like one or two characters from the original one I didn't really like too much in this, but for most of the part of the original cast members, I liked all their arcs. I thought it was really well done.
Oh, there's one thing I didn't like.
But will we talk about that now, or will we talk about that later?
Characters. This is about characters.
Oh, okay.
I don't like how they treated Natasha. I feel like after rewatching, I'm like, okay, they kind of did have a funeral, but I feel like that was a Tony funeral rather than we lost two people funeral. Because she was there just as long, so it felt like more of a fan funeral in a way.
Or maybe she'll come back.
But they don't know that.
Why
so
did
it's
it have
like
a funeral?
Well,
wasn't there something separate? Because I feel like we're lumping them both into Tony's actual funeral, but I feel like there was something before that.
There was, but I guess the issue was she doesn't have family.
Oh yeah, that's it. And then they were like, "Nah, Hulk snap, because we're her family."
Yeah.
Cap said that.
Oh, one of them said it. But actually, can I jump in?
It's your turn.
I'll finish my last one then.
Cool.
So, I like Tony Stark had a really cool arc too, because you remember him from the first film. He was just a stubborn rich dude, and then like he wants to give so much back to the people. And I'm not gonna lie, he made the ultimate sacrifice in this movie because you saw him with his life, with Pepper, with the kid. In Iron Man 3, he like was willing to give all his stuff up just for Pepper, and then he sacrificed himself so everyone could live.
Yeah.
And like that's what everyone was there at the funeral. The little kid from Iron Man 3, the one who was like training, was at the funeral. My friend had to point that out to me because I was like, who the hell is that kid?
It took me a while. I was so lost.
Because I was like, it has to be someone. Like, I don't recognize one person. He has to be significant. I was just like, oh, like last time we saw him, he was like 11.
Yeah.
So that's why.
We're connected.
Yes. All right, man.
Oh, cool. So, because I like Cap, I feel would be the obvious go-to, especially because like I'm action craven right here. Like I love lightning too. I love that. So I'm not gonna go that route. My favorite character in this was Nat. Like she held it down. Like, because even like if you look at the scenes that she was grounded in, she was really that glue that like held everybody together. When it got ugly after the snap and everything, between her and Cap, they were doing like a lot of the like recovery stuff, like minus the fights and minus all the thrill seeking, all the cool stuff that everybody goes to these kind of movies for. They were really like that engine that was just like, all right, we're gonna keep this fight alive. And there was such like tragedy in like her bearing in that movie. Like you could see it. Like shout out to Scarlett Johansson because she like wore that role really well. So she gets mad respect for that. And very committed to characters that grow because in so much fiction that I consume, there's an extensive number of characters that just do not grow, especially in this genre. So for her to have grown so much from the person we saw in Iron Man 2,
yes,
it was impressive to me. I loved it. Love what they did with Nebula, because Nebula, if anybody knows in comics, Nebula is supposed to be like. When I first read about her in comics as a kid, I like likened her to Frieza a little bit. That might be a leap, but she just reminded me of Frieza. Maybe the ball. Could be the similar hair. Right, could be that. Yeah. But I likened her to Lord Frieza with the heartlessness and like the maliciousness. And now here she is, like low key, and to a degree, of course, not to the extent that Tony did it, but sacrificing her past self, like literally and figuratively, for the betterment of like the galaxy, which is a direct contravention of her father, the person who she spent her entire life trying to like impress, and like just so like that depth there was like beautiful to me. Of course, Tony was amazing. So that goes without saying. In terms of what I didn't like, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I did not like what they did with Thor. I didn't like the look. I didn't like how they made him hopeless, but I get it. That's clearly the trajectory that he would go on after everything. But at the same time, I would have given him a little more credit. Like, I don't know.
You gotta look at it this way. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, it's cool.
I just want to get this point out there. It was shocking to me he never broke down before.
That's a good pun, by the way. Shocking Thor. I caught that.
Yeah. That's good. But like, it always hit me when I saw Dark One in theaters. I'm like, his mom died and life just really went on. Like, real quick. Like, we didn't even soak that moment in.
No.
Like, the audience didn't soak it in.
Right, because I didn't even like bang with Dark World like that. But there was some major themes there. And when it happened, I was able to chalk it up like okay, maybe because they're Asgardians, but if you really think about it, like these guys are supposed to be immortal. So that makes you count on someone being alive forever. Like that's an actual thing. Like,
so that might make it worse.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? So that's a compounded fear that you got to deal with, and for him to have to bounce back that quick, it says a lot about him. And then just multiply it by everyone else in his family, his father, his brother, like right in front of his face, and kind of the trauma of having to actually kill your own sister. Like, yeah, I get it, because I mean,
and half of Asgard.
And half of Asgard. Well, just about all of Asgard.
Yeah.
For real.
Well, the planet and the people.
Yeah.
Because remember, Thanos attacked
Asgard's not a place; it's a people.
Son of a bitch.
That's good.
God of Hammers. That's how it is.
Yes.
So it makes sense. I can rationalize it, but I didn't like it. For me, I'm like, that's too real. And I was hoping that they pulled like a Billy Batson thing, like when he would turn up, like he would no longer be fat, like the lightning would hit him.
Oh,
I thought he'd
like real.
Like what I was saying, when he got Mjolnir and Storm, I thought he was skinny again.
Yeah.
But then later on, they showed him like
thick out here. Two C's, y'all. He's 2 C's.
You think that weekend him?
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
Maybe a little slower.
Yeah. But oh man. Oh wait, one more person who I like what they did, because this is so. I went into the movie.
You did?
I did. Well, I went into the movie with like low expectations on what they were gonna do for the villain. Just cause like I feel like Thanos got all of the major treatments that he needed as a character in his introduction in Infinity War. I thought that was
like his movie, basically.
You see what I'm saying? So I was like, they're not gonna give him more in this one. I walked out of this movie with a sufficient fear of people that are bigger than me now. Because, yo, my man was moving like a fusion of like Mayweather and like Tyson in his prime. Like, I was afraid. I'm like, yo, I never want to. Anyone who caught the one-on-one with him got demolished and leveled. Like, that was so amazing. I'm like, yo,
because he almost died with the gauntlet, and he didn't even have the gauntlet in Endgame.
You see what I'm saying? So I'm just like, yo, I don't ever want to be caught in a dark alley facing down Thanos. I'm cool on that. And then he pulls up with like a whirling dervish type weapon. Why do you need that? You're already creasing everybody with just the hands. Yeah. Shouts out to him. Mad respect.
And doesn't even have the intention to kill, which is kind of cocky on his part.
Ain't it? Goku out here. But if he was a bad guy and like huge, I'm cool on all that.
Alright. Cool. Characters. Who did I love? Number one for me is definitely Iron Man. He probably has, throughout this Infinity Saga, probably one of the best, if not the best, arcs throughout this. Like, he started it, and like Justin touched on, he started off, being selfish and, selling weapons to people he shouldn't have been selling weapons to, got humbled in that cave, came out the cave, was still a little bit selfish and still a little bit arrogant, and then he just kept on getting humbled until like Iron Man 2. Then when we see him at the end of Avengers, he's a different Tony. He's pretty much the Tony we have now. And I think that's really, really cool, because going back to like what Greg was saying on his part about characters, he's big on growth, and just the change that Iron Man has had since 2008 is a big thing. Because before 2008, no one was really checking for Iron Man like that. Like, I watched the TV show a lot. Back in the 90s or whatever, I loved it because he put on a suitcase and but a lot of people,
my jam.
But a lot of people weren't checking for that, and then
that's what got the casual fan.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And now it's just like Iron Man is like everywhere. Like, Iron Man is like up there with like the face of Marvel now. Like,
if you, I need to throw a quick tidbit. Do you know the Marvel poster has the whole roster on it?
Yeah.
If you look at the ones that came out, let's say 2004, Spider-Man, Wolverine will be in the middle.
Right.
Now Iron Man, Cap are in the middle.
Mm-hmm. Right, as it should be.
Yeah, so that goes to your point.
Yeah, definitely. So, and just in this movie, because I could go on a tangent about his other movies and things like that, but in this movie, like, Robert Downey Jr. definitely put his foot in this, because just acting wise too, like, I was talking to Greg off camera about like how when he first came down from space with Nebula, and he was going off on Cap, and it's like, yo, you weren't here. I was trying to put a suit of armor around the world, and you said, I said we lose, and you said we do that together. Well, we did lose, and you weren't there. Like, he was going off. That was such great acting. There was a lot of good acting in this movie.
Yeah, script writing.
Yes, the script was
writing
a
is
whole lot better. You could
Yeah.
tell that Infinity War and Endgame are two different movies. But the thing was too is that the Russo brothers did come out and say they definitely made a mistake filming them both at the same time, because for me, Infinity War felt rushed, and this felt like it took its time and did exactly what it was supposed to do, and played that long game, and we were in there for 3 hours and didn't even feel like 3 hours, because we got just enough of everybody as we should have.
There's so much character building in this.
So much.
Besides the action, but I was still like engaged in every minute.
So much, man. So yeah. So shouts out to Iron Man. The way he went out, his lines, like RDJ is up there for me. He definitely came to play. Second for me would definitely be Cap, which is now which is definitely like a fan favorite, because like I said, going back before 2011 when his movie came out, nobody was checking for Cap. No, you wasn't. You wasn't checking for Cap like that.
He might have been. He strikes me as a Cap fan. I get it.
Remember, I used to read a lot because that's all I had was the comics.
I mean, I use Cap in Marvel's Cap comic. They didn't go farther than that. Stars and Stripes, he hit hard, bro.
Now, do you think people viewed Cap in a different light after Winter Soldier?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He was corny back then to people.
Oh man.
Do you think people love Cap from First Avenger as much as they do from Winter Soldier? Or
I think Winter Soldier, or maybe the Avengers movie itself. Maybe Winter Soldier helped. I mean, maybe First Avenger helped, but I think Winter Soldier was like, okay, he's considered a part of culture now. Like, he's cool. He's
like
the guy.
Like, he's not just like a gimmick. He can actually be like a badass spy, too.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think that's, and Avengers, I guess, helped and didn't help with that because he was definitely still getting his feet wet with everything, but they still acknowledged him as the leader. Like, he might not be the strongest Avenger, but he's definitely like the leader in the heart and the cement that holds them together.
Are they like co-leaders?
They, yes and no.
There's a quote too. I don't remember it, but when they were they on the ship? They were in some kind of vehicle, and they were like, "Well, who's in charge?" And Tony pointed to Cap, but he was like, "Yeah, this is all my stuff, but it's him."
Yeah.
This was in the cartoon?
This was in the movie. This is one of the movies.
Yeah, he's Cap's definitely like the leader. Like I said, even though he's not the strongest Avenger, which speaks volumes.
Well, a lot of them don't even have powers.
Well,
if you really think about it.
The big three: Thor, Captain America, Iron Man. They're like the strongest Avengers. I don't count Hulk because he's trash. So,
we're gonna talk about that one day.
Want to speak that up a little bit?
No, because we're gonna get to that later.
Okay.
Yeah. So Cap definitely did his thing because Cap didn't really get like a lot of love in Infinity War, which made a lot of sense because he wasn't there after the events of Civil War, so he was on the run. So I guess that makes sense story and plot wise, but they definitely did their thing with him, and I think the Russo brothers took a page out of Joss Whedon's book when he made Avengers 1, because that's what it felt like Avengers, like what we had in the first one. You know, the original 6 or 7, and it was just it was great. And like I said, all of Cap's scenes were really good when he's when they first pull up on Thanos, when he's 5 years later and he's like in the circle and he's they're talking about what's going on with them after the 5 years, and then one of the Russo brothers is actually talking. I don't know, did you peep that? One of the Russo brothers is in that scene.
Was he the one? He's the one that everyone, like, there was articles all over online. I don't know if you guys are against touching upon this in the video, but they were saying, oh, this is the first like openly gay character in the MCU. But like, I didn't even catch that in the movie. Like, it just seemed like second nature. They were like just talking like everything was normal. Like, they didn't try to make it a big thing
just
at all. It was just casual. So I was just like, well, was he? I didn't even notice.
Yeah.
He was talking about his date.
Like it registered, but like I said, it didn't stand out. Or like they were trying to dangle a message over your head or nothing like
agenda
that.
on its face.
Yeah, and like I said, he just all the scenes he were in, he did really well. That final battle, amazing. And when he said "Avengers Assemble," finally, just chills down my spine. His emotional reaction when Natasha died, just how he just refused to stay down when he was fighting Thanos. Like, it was just, he did very, very well.
Not to cut you off, but what movie was it where Captain America was about to say "Avengers Assemble" and then it cut off?
At the end of Age of Ultron.
Yeah, he's like "Avengers," and then it like cut off.
They knew what they're doing.
Yeah. That's a good thing too. Like, every little Easter egg or thing that they like teased us with, just a tiny bit, they followed up with.
Exactly.
Everything came full circle.
Exactly. And I was actually touching on this with Greg off camera, how we were talking about, like, pretty much Age of Ultron was probably the weakest out of the Avengers movies.
Agreed.
But there's a lot of Easter eggs that they did, said, and just followed through with, and made it full circle when it got back to Endgame. Like what you just said with the whole, how he was about to say Avengers Assemble, and like
the hammer scene.
Yep, the hammer scene, and also when they were talking about, that's the Endgame up there. When
Hawkeye's family.
Hawkeye's family, all of that. Like, it wasn't the best movie, but they definitely threw a lot in there, and it was like the middle ground of the bridge, as Greg said, to get to where we're at now. And I think that's dope to bring things full circle. I love that. That's great for a story.
So maybe looking back, we didn't have to change much about Ultron being that. That's why I don't like judging sequels sometimes, because it's like, I feel like it's all one story. We're just getting them in parts. So it's kind of like binge watching a Netflix show. It's like, I have favorite episodes, but sometimes you need that trash episode. Yeah, you could have made it better, but it's still bridging the gap. So that's why I'm not too. That's funny because I'm the one who's not too harsh.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm not.
I was going to let it rock. I was going to let it rock.
Well, no, you made it known that I'm not harsh on MCU though.
You're not at all.
Yeah,
He's not.
So.
At all.
Someone was telling me, and I know this is getting slightly off topic, but
cool.
like that Alita Battle Angel movie that came out. Some people said it was alright, some people enjoyed it, but they were saying they were setting up for way too much in one movie. But they're saying like that's how the manga is. I haven't read it myself, but they were like the way it's structured, it sets up to have a bigger picture in the end. So I'm guessing with Avengers Endgame, even if you might not have liked it. After you watch all the other movies, like if Alita had 7 other movies that came out or something like that, you might view that first one in a different light.
That's exactly my
point.
point.
I definitely want to talk about it because I love that movie.
Okay.
But yeah, anyway, my third and final character, I'm gonna go to the dark side on this one. Thanos, the Mad Titan.
There we go.
Killed the game. I loved him more in this movie than I did in Infinity War, and I had more screen time with him in Infinity War. It's almost like, if you really look at it, they kind of almost lost again. Because he figured out that Nebula was connected to our Nebula. His past Nebula and our Nebula was connected.
Wi-Fi.
Came through.
Change your Wi-Fi password.
Please, now. Like letters, numbers, exclamation points.
All that.
Hieroglyphics.
But here's the thing. Was it past and future Nebula, or the way they do time travel and the way they were talking to the Ancient One, did that Nebula spawn her own different reality?
Ooh.
Oh?
So, was it a separate universe, or was it just past and future?
I think it was past and future.
Okay.
I think they were trying to really stray away from alternate universes.
Oh, yeah, can we wait? Yeah, hold on, because I know you wanted to talk about time travel separately. I got a whole thing.
Yeah.
About,
He's finishing Nebula.
Hold
on.
We
won't get to it.
We're all getting too excited.
Legit.
But just to finish my thought, I love Thanos. Damn the action. Homie was sitting here just playing with a pebble. Just flicking the pebble with his sword, with his sword and his helmet on the sword, just like I'm waiting for y'all.
Like, yeah, try me. Y'all got the right one today.
They write him so well.
Yes.
And
Josh
Brolin delivers the hell out of that
That's
character, man. It was so good. It was so good, and I really loved the fact that he wasn't in a lot of it, but the scenes that he was in, wonderful. Perfect. And then getting to the action. Oh man, I was on the edge of my seat like this, y'all. Because I'm thinking somebody's gonna die
every time. Him as the villain, he was basically taking a backseat, just basically for time as the villain.
You're right. Right.
Like the Snap as the villain in
general.
Yeah, the Snap was the villain.
And if you look, he ended up still getting the gauntlet on his hand again. If he was facing anybody but Iron Man in that final scene, we'd have lost.
Yo, you don't get successful villains that well done. In anything. I think the closest you got is Darth Vader in the scene from Rogue One. But other than that, you don't get villains that are wreaking successful havoc that major, with all the stakes that high. Exactly.
And it's just okay.
Loved it.
Final battle's going on, everybody's fighting, but then I'm just we still might lose this. Because he doesn't have the gauntlet, but he's trying to get the gauntlet. But if everybody wasn't brought back, or if Iron Man didn't dust everybody, they'd probably either still be fighting, or there'd probably be way more casualties because his army was just ready to go because he had his Black Order back and he had the Chitauri 2.0.
The whole squad.
So it was just it was good. It was good. So that's my top 3 right
there.
Can
I give a note to Josh Brolin for being a successful child actor?
Child actor?
What, from the Goonies?
From the Goonies.
Yeah.
He's we're happy you're now on crack. You're still excelling. We're I think that's a
And he did 3 movies last year. He did Infinity War, he did Deadpool, and he did Sicario.
He did Sicario.
He was moving.
He was working. Yeah.
So if you don't get anything out of this,
shouts out to Josh Brolin.
Shout out to Josh Brolin. Be like Josh Brolin.
Be like Josh, man. He was phenomenal in No Country for Old Men.
And bring you
top 5
to
movies
me.
right there.
I've heard that, but I didn't watch it.
You got to.
I will.
It's very interesting.
Next year.
You want to cut? We'll go to the next. All right, guys, we're back. So moving on, next topic for Avengers Endgame spoiler is strengths and weaknesses, or what was great and what they could work on. I started with Derek last time. Justin, let's start with you.
All right.
What did you like?
I'd say I liked the way it started out because it didn't start out the way I thought it would because the marketing kind of threw us off. There was stuff they showed in the previews that weren't exactly portrayed the same way.
Yeah.
What was it? and the Captain Marvel, where she shows up. She's like, "Where's Fury?" Like that wasn't even
in the movie at all. Yeah.
And, which makes me wonder, like when she saw Iron Man and Nebula in space, did that Where's Fury scene already take place, or was that literally just like an out of movie like tease for us that she was coming in?
Yeah,
that wouldn't fit in the way I remember the Where's Fury thing. Should have fit in sometime when she landed. With the ship.
Because like I felt like when she came back, like when she came back with me, I felt like they didn't really say it specifically, but I felt like Captain Marvel like knew the people in the group ever so slightly. But yeah, I just like that it really kept us guessing. There was a lot of stuff that they showed. They were showing us in the previews Scarlett Johansson with red hair, Scarlett Johansson with blonde hair. Scenes where like they were trying to say in all the previews. Kevin Feige and the Russo brothers, Feige, I don't know. But they were saying that the previews are all supposed to be showing the first 15 minutes of the movie. I don't know if I was buying it or not, but I was like, all right, well, Tony Stark is in the quantum suit in the preview, but he's also in space. So I was like, so something doesn't add up. But like I said, I admire how they're throwing us off. And you guys remember like years ago when they would have previews for movies, it wouldn't even be a clip or footage from the movie. They would have filmed something like separately. Like the first preview for Avengers was just like Samuel L. Jackson talking over the Avengers. Like I just like when they like for marketing purposes. I like when they show stuff that just doesn't show and just to throw us off. But the marketing in general and the way this movie started off was definitely a plus. Just all the characters had their moments to shine, and the characters who kind of took a back seat in this film, like Bucky and Falcon and a few others, they shined in Infinity War. Like they had their moments in that film. Black Panther had their moments in the film, but to be fair, 3/4 of the characters didn't show up to the last part, so they didn't really have a choice. But Infinity War was their movie, so it gave the original cast time to shine in this one, so that's what I really liked. I like how it's set up for the future of the MCU without having to do any end credit scenes. I liked how it kind of sprinkled in little details and gave us little hints, but not
anything definitive.
Yeah, not anything definitive. Like not like you saw Cap giving. What's his name? Falcon the shield. But that doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be Captain America. Most likely it will be. I mean, I guess, but. You don't know. You still don't know the future of Cap. You don't know the future of Thor. He might have that as Guardians of the Galaxy thing. I don't know. But so yeah, I just really liked how they ended it. As far as stuff I didn't like, I know I'm a little bit of an outsider with this, but I don't know if you guys feel the same way. But I don't really like what they've done with Hulk the past few movies.
A lot of people feel that way.
Because I loved Edward Norton's Hulk, and and like
thank you.
In the first Avengers movie, I loved Mark Ruffalo in that because for the most part he was still contributing. As far as his
good lines,
and as far as like his scientific knowledge and stuff like that, because he's a smart dude. He's almost like he's probably close to Tony Stark's level of smart, but I still liked how they tried to work the Planet Hulk storyline a little bit into Ragnarok. But like Ragnarok, Infinity War, and this movie, he's like just a comedic relief. Like don't get me wrong, there is some funny stuff in it, but like even in Infinity War, he was just like, "Oh, shut up, you big green asshole!" Like he's with this. I was like,
that's too on.
Like because Mark Ruffalo, he's a big dork. Like in real life and in the movie, and like this, there's some things he can deliver, and in other things it just feels like he's really reaching. Like, you feel like that scene was specifically set up for him to throw that joke in there.
Look at it like this. At least his eyes are open at this one.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Like the Beatles? He annoys me so bad.
Thor, I did like his character a lot. Like I said, similar to Hulk, he did have a lot of moments in Ragnarok. 'Cause I actually wasn't that big of a fan of Ragnarok because they just made a joke out of Thor's character, and he did have a lot to do in this one, and there was a lot of serious stuff going on. And like I said, because I felt in Ragnarok, like after his father's death, they had jokes in there right away, like with Valkyrie getting junked and like falling off the ship, and like it just took me out of it kind of. But in this one at least, like even though he was jokey a lot of the time, they still went back to Thor: The Dark World of all movies,
right?
And it touched upon his mom and family, and finally, like you said earlier, just having that grieving period. So it was kind of a hit and miss for me. So and like we said earlier, Captain Marvel is the same thing, hit or miss, because when she was there, she was there.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone thought she was going to be OP.
Yeah.
She was a little bit. She destroyed that shit. I thought she was gonna like One Punch Man the shit out of Thanos. Just like that would be the final blow, and then that was it. No. But no, like Thanos beat the shit out of her. I was happy
because and that's kind of why I say the thing about not to take over, but they used the little plot devices to make it a movie that makes sense. Like they condensed the cast, made it smaller. They made Captain Marvel busy.
Yeah,
because if they had her earlier, it's a easier fight for them.
Right.
Because remember, Thanos had to use the Power Stone.
Yeah.
So without the Power Stone, that's an actual fight.
Mm-hmm.
Like Thor and Captain Marvel, that's an actual fight. But she came so late. Captain America's already got his leg sliced by then.
Yeah.
So
it was like Civil War. Like Thor wasn't there. He's like a cosmic.
Whichever side he takes wins.
Exactly. Yeah.
So he was out of it. He had his own shit going on, just like
that. Keep the stakes even. That's fair. Yeah.
So, I mean, as far as I can think of, that was my only really negatives. Though, I did have one other negative, but that gets into like the time travel aspect. So I'll save that for a little bit later. So
cool.
Just pass it to you.
Solid. Rave reviews about how these guys do villains. They get monologuing and like just bar for bar villainy so good. Now we already talked about how Age of Ultron was a bad movie. Homie was out here delivering lines. They pick the best people to be the villains and they give them so much juice and so much potential. But that would also be the source of my biggest gripe with Marvel in general. You kill off these villains that are supposed to last. Thanos was not supposed to die. Not here. He's supposed to keep it going. I don't know how they could have kept him going. Somebody argued that he's not dead. He's in the Soul Stone. But I'm like, if that's the case,
he's in a different universe.
Right. Why wasn't everyone else in the Soul Stone? Because technically, it's like Dragon Ball logic. Like, okay, no, they're dead, but you just wish them back from being dead. That's kind of what happened with the reverse snap. I don't know. But yeah, that's my issue because I really wish he didn't die. Like he was just getting. That Thanos right there, if he had kept going to become like greater than the Thanos that we saw in Infinity War, and it's funny that we got to do that, like start there, go back, and jump forward. Like, could you imagine what he would come back with? Like, cause he could
pull a Red Skull. Come back out of nowhere,
just be chilling. But like that's my biggest it's my biggest issue. But more feats of success. I went into the movie regular. I gotta stop saying that.
Okay.
Like I never had a large appreciation for Cap. Not a fan of Cap by any stretch of the imagination. Didn't like him. Didn't immediately go see the first Avenger or Winter Soldier. I didn't start banging with Cap until Civil War. And in all honesty, I thought Civil War was an Avengers movie. I didn't care about the Captain America part of the title. But like this movie my inner kid was like, yo, Cap is dope because he's worthy and he's got lightning bolts happening in his life. That was awesome. And the theater agreed because where I was at, everybody was like, yo, it was going off. It was loving it. So I had a newfound respect for him just because it's written in the plot. And they really did great to emphasize the emphasize how invested we were in these characters. Because again, I didn't know that I cared on an emotional level for Black Widow. And then she dies. And I'm like, yo, why am I crying? What is this? Salivation from my eyes? What is it? Am I sweating? My eyeballs are sweating.
Here.
It's hot in my eyeballs. Like, I didn't expect that. Because I'm like, yo, and then when you really think about it, like, nah, she's been around, like, longer than...
A lot of them.
A lot of them, yeah. And it's like, you just see her, you just expect her to deliver certain things, and then it's like, yo, she's out. Like, that's crazy. There's that, like, the deaths were, like, really hard to deal with because of how well everyone else was invested in each other. They were really a family. And it shows. And it showed, like, the reaction that went around the theater. So, yeah, I like how this one played upon that investment that people have in the characters themselves. 10-year-long investment. So, yeah, those are the strengths. The only real weakness, I'd say, was the fact that Homie died. Like, everybody died. And I mean, I was actually pissed that that there was nothing after the credits. I sat. Honestly, I almost sat till I wanted to sit till the next day because I mean, now they're playing with me. Something's gonna happen.
They had like Iron Man's hammer sound at the end.
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
I thought that was setting up for like telling us that someone else is gonna be Iron Man now. But the Russo brothers was like, yeah, that's just like the same sound from the first movie. I was like, oh, okay.
I hate that, man. I was really hoping for something. And back like to bring it back to what you guys were saying about the Hulk. I actually I fully agree that his character's been diminishing over time, and you touched on a great point on the Hulk that we saw at the very beginning when the minute Ruffalo started playing the character. It was like he was taking a lot of cues from the previous guy whose name I can never remember. Edward Norton, yeah. Like they were like very similar from what little I saw of his Hulk and Ruffalo's, but then like the more you go into like the other movies, the less like the further he strays from that. And I think that was I don't think that was a good idea. Because like he becomes comedic relief, and in this movie he reminds me of like a husky light skinned dude. Like he's over here like he's all positive now and like for the kids. I'm like, nah, that's not Hulk, man.
Could you picture Edward Norton? Could you picture Edward Norton doing all the comedic stuff?
No, I cannot. See what I'm saying? If it was any other actor, it would have been something like heavy, like a weighted role.
That's the writer's fault in a weird way. Also, there's also the persona he shoots out, because they probably saw him and was like, he can't pull off what we thought Edward Norton could. So it's easy to blame the actor, but at the end of the day, it's the director and the writers doing it.
Yeah. See, I don't know.
Because they wrote the jokes for him.
Maybe, and Dev, we can relate to this. Maybe it's because, like when it comes to writing for Urban Jedi, like, I write based off of how you are.
Right.
Like, just what
that's the point.
Yeah, but you see what I'm saying? Like, if it was somebody else, like, if Dev wasn't the character that he was, and somebody else was, like, if his role was something that somebody else would step into, that would change the character significantly.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's... For all that, then like if you're willing to sacrifice that, then by all means. But I think them sacrificing that was a grave mistake, a grave miscalculation.
I can agree with that. I mean, you can only blame the person who hired them, I guess.
Yeah, I just wish. I mean, love Ruffalo to death. He's funny and adorable with his dorkiness, but like, nah, you needed somebody who could like actually carry the weight of the heaviness that is Hulk. Like a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde type dude. Like you need that. We didn't get any of that. Slightly we did, but it was laughable. So yeah, those are my issues, and kudos.
Wait, Derek, you didn't go yet.
No, but mine's isn't long.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Okay, strengths. Let's go with strengths. As like in Infinity War and in this, I love the music. The scoring was very well done, like it always is in all the Avengers movies. But the theme in Age of Ultron, I don't know if you peeped, Greg might have peeped, maybe you too, Justin. The theme was a little different.
Mm-hmm.
Age of Ultron.
Danny Elfman, the dude who did like all the Spider-Man music.
Yes.
He was the one that like remixed the theme in that movie.
Love his work.
Okay, that makes sense then. Because I was looking at it on YouTube.
Because you heard like the chorus like in the background.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
Yeah.
This is why I need y'all, because I don't even know what you're talking about.
It's cool. It's cool. Yeah. The music was great. I love the visuals. The CGI was a whole lot better than probably the best it's ever been in any of the Avengers movies. Oh, it was so good. Everything looked good. I love the color scheming that they used. Because Infinity War was using like we were in Wakanda, we were on Titan, so it was kind of bright. But like when we got the Endgame, it was dark.
The whole time.
Dark.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved it. So just just breaking that down. It was like we talked about the characters. Everyone came to play. Everyone did their thing. And I was afraid, well, not afraid, but I had a feeling that this wasn't going to be too much action based because we got all of the action in Infinity War because it was technically like a heist movie, but it was like action. Every time we went to a different scene, it was just action.
And if it wasn't action, it was leading up to some action.
Exactly. Yeah. And this one slowed it down. That first hour was like a grind, just trying to figure out where everyone's at and where we want to go. And then once that second and third act picked up, oh my goodness. That's how it's done. That's how a story is told. That's how you conclude, all of this, And don't get me wrong, I like Infinity War, but it definitely felt a little rushed and a lot of things were thrown in there, just to like get it out. And like I said previously, the Russo brothers did say that they made a mistake filming them both together because it was originally supposed to be Infinity War Part 1 and Infinity War Part 2. but then they ended up changing it to Infinity War and Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it was great. Everyone did well. Man, and the action was so good. The story was good. The plot. We'll touch on the time travel in just a second. I guess I'll go to my weaknesses now. Hulk was definitely a big weakness for me.
It's just funny, the way you said
Yeah.
it. It's priceless. All these puns, y'all.
I know. We gotta
Funky
stop.
puns.
We gotta stop.
That was awesome.
I mean, my goodness, I really wanted him to get a rematch with Thanos. Like, so bad.
Yo.
Like, if something happened, like, when the big three, when Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor were, like, fighting him. Okay. Here's another weakness. When they started fighting him and then they cut the scene, I was hot.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because they did something.
Keep us there, please.
When they pulled up on him and all you saw was a beam and like from Iron Man or whatever and like Cap's here and Thor's there and they were about to get it in and they cut it. I was like, good, bring it back, please. Let me get that.
Oops,
oh
sorry.
man, I'm getting timed. I'm late for work.
Wait, so not to cut you off, but
Go ahead.
was Hulk a part of the final battle?
No.
Not
Like
even
he
a little bit.
he was in there when Thanos blew the.
He was under rubble. Justin.
Yeah, well, he was holding the rubble. That's like the
His
last
arm
thing
was
I
messed
remember.
up.
He
His
came
arm
up
was done.
when the portals came.
Did he really?
Yeah.
I bet.
I have to see. This is a movie I need to see
see
like
again.
3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Someone
legit.
said like Howard the Duck was in it or some shit.
I
Like
feel like
he was
he
in the
was.
background, like right when the Wasp came in and all the portals were coming
Okay,
out.
I
He
see
was
that.
like in the background.
Okay.
Dude,
I swore I saw that because I know I heard him say something.
Really?
Like he was there and he said something.
What?
Right? That could have been a dream though. I
gotta
definitely
see it
dreamt
again.
about
Have we
the
all
movie,
only
so.
seen it once?
I've seen
You
it
saw it twice?
Mm-hmm.
Dang!
I see my sister.
I'm hating.
One time for me.
Yeah, I gotta see it again. I'm gonna see it again this week, y'all.
IMAX.
Yes, indeed.
I'm going. I don't care. You're
Yes.
invited. You're
Regal's
going.
got that
That's
new
it.
4DX too.
What?
Wow.
Them tickets was like $25. It don't matter.
Yeah.
They getting all my money.
I'm here for it.
They already broke $2 billion, y'all.
Let's give it some more.
Yeah, for real. So, yeah, I wish we could have lived in like the fighting a little bit, like in the beginning scene. But that's okay. Hulk, like I said, he kind of redeemed himself because he snapped to bring everybody back. Because he was like, I'm the only one that can do it because I got a gamble.
I was made for this.
Yeah.
All right.
I really wanted him to come back, like if it was like Thor, Hulk, Iron Man, and Captain America 4-on-1 tagging out. Thor throwing
And they did
people
like
at
another.
them.
They did like another 360 camera pan too.
Oh. And that's a +2. They did that again in
Yeah.
Endgame. I love it. Avengers 1 is amazing. I'm still trying to figure out where I'm putting Endgame in my top 5 because I gotta move something out. But we'll get to that when we grade. Yeah. What else? Oh man, I guess that might be it. I really loved when they went back in time. Way back in time. I know this is time travel, but when Tony Stark and Cap went back in time and Tony saw his dad.
That hit me
was
right
crazy.
here. That hit me right here, man.
I was like, no, they're not about to do that.
I was about to cry.
Because
of the
like
sentimentality.
Yeah.
because he was done with his dad, and then basically later on Tony Stark found out like his dad wasn't actually a scumbag.
Yeah.
Like you found out little bits and pieces in Iron Man 2.
Yeah.
He was like pissed as hell in Civil War because
Mhm.
he found out so much more stuff about his dad.
Mhm.
And then now you have this where he's actually face to face with that man he used to hate, but
Yeah.
then he had like a different feeling for now.
Mhm.
So I definitely feel you on that.
Yeah.
I fully related to that.
Yeah.
I fully related to
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Man. It was such a deep moment. For
Yeah,
me.
that was really good. That was really good. Yeah, it was great. The movie was amazing. But yeah, I think those are my pretty much nitpicky things. But the only thing is too it was so much in this movie, which isn't a bad thing, but it was just a lot to take in. And even now, just talking about it's just so much to decipher and so much to just really just bring to the table because we were there for 3 hours, culmination of 22 movies, 10 years, like I'm still almost speechless.
Something just
about
hit me.
everything. What?
Tony is his dad. His dad sacrificed his connection with his son for the betterment of the world, the way Tony did for Morgan and Pepper.
History repeats.
Shit.
And he
Yeah.
repeatedly kept
Like
trying to do
poetry
it.
almost.
Yeah, like you don't sacrifice. Although he didn't have he had Pepper, but it's different when leaving your daughter behind than your wife.
Yeah.
Like it sucks either way, but he almost did that with the nuclear bomb
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry.
No, you're good. Like I'm gonna
Circuit
touch on a
motion.
couple more things.
Mhm.
One other thing was when Tony Stark snapped and he was about to die or he was dying. I really wish Cap would have came up and like said something to him, because in that scene he was like in the background. You saw his face, but the only people that came up to him was Peter and Pepper. I really wish Cap would have came up, and I really wish I could have got, because I was emotional during that moment. But I think if Cap would have came up and like said something to Tony or whatever, like,
I would have lost it.
That would have got me. Like,
I mean, I was
worse.
losing it.
Yeah, I was already losing it.
I was balling. Listen,
Yeah,
I related bits, man. I was done.
Man,
I was a dunion. It was right.
yeah, I really wish I could have got more, because I don't know. I'm thinking maybe they both weren't filming the same day when that happened.
Could have been,
because it almost seemed like
he was this green screen placed in the
yeah,
background.
because like Cap was like reacting, but I wanted more from that. Like,
There would have been more from that based on the characters.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Going off of that though, there's one thing I was just curious about your guys' thoughts. Did you think it was right to have Pepper in the Iron Man suit?
Rescue armor, yes.
Was that what it was?
Yes.
Because I thought, this is just me, but I might be missing a detail. But wasn't she completely against like the Iron Man suits?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah,
is
but
that
she was
why-
character evolution.
The entire
Is that what
initiative.
Yeah.
like off-screen character evolution, basically?
Kinda, yeah. And I mean, 5 years happened. She's like, because remember, she encouraged him to take the mission.
Right, I was about to
So
say
that
there's-
shows that.
That's true. Yeah.
There's a
I
line
didn't
that
think
she
of
said that really showed, like, that really resonated with the concept of her growth on a level. She was talking about how, like, I've always, like, failed at basically telling you to chill. Like, I've always failed at doing that. And the irony and the crazy dark twist at the end was that she finally told him to rest, and he, like, listened, and it was like permanent rest.
Yeah.
So it's like that sucks, but like to think that she grew from like telling him to rest early, and he was just like, nah, I'm gonna go do this, I'm gonna go do that, and then it's just like, nah, let's take arms and hold it down, and then
Fair enough. Yeah.
yeah,
Like Devin was saying, it's a 3-hour long movie, so there's just some stuff you'd like overlook.
yeah.
It's so much to take in. One of my dislikes too, which we'll probably get coming around back to it. I don't like the fact Cap gave the shield to
Same.
him. Yeah. Falcon. I don't think
You wanted
that-
Bucky, didn't you?
No, actually, I don't think either of them had enough development to get to that point. Cause like you could give
You're
them the
right
shield.
and wrong, I think.
You could
That's
get
what-
all right. Let me finish. So like you could put them in the suit, but that's not gonna make them Cap. Like we really haven't gotten anything out of Bucky since Civil War, so
Sure.
we didn't really get that chance to for them to show us, or they didn't get a chance to show us that like, okay, Bucky is growing, or Falcon is growing. I mean, so far it's been like, okay, it's been Cap, and then like, oh well, people who end up shooting at you end up shooting at me because I'm Falcon. I'm always on your 6. That's cool. That's dope. But that's not giving me like, okay, he deserves that shield, or he's about to take this mantle up, or he's about to be the leader of the new Avengers, or the Captain America of the new Avengers. Like I need more. I needed more from both
More
of
to
them.
the game.
Now, granted, they're both getting a TV series on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
So maybe something will happen with that, or he might just hang the shield up until it's time to get there.
Like we'll use that for like a symbol of hope or inspiration or something like that.
But I wasn't feeling that. I wouldn't have, now technically Bucky should have gotten it, but even still, Bucky hasn't shown that growth either. Like besides Civil War,
Is he still the Winter Soldier, or is he like?
he's supposed to be White Wolf now.
Yeah, I was about to say in Black Panther they called him White Wolf.
Which
So
don't make sense because never mind. White Wolf is supposed to be, isn't it supposed to be his child's brother or something like that?
Yeah, but it's his own universe. You gotta take it for what it is.
I'm not gonna take it for what it is.
Wow.
Because you have a plot, you have movies, and you got this money. Make it happen.
Well,
right.
if that's the
Yeah,
case, then
reference
you have to hate
material, too.
most of it because it's really just slightly based off the comics.
Yeah,
so,
yeah,
for real.
true. But it's just like you got the means.
I guess you could see it as like kind of like the TV show Gotham. It's like a what if universe.
Yeah.
Oh.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I'm not willing to accept that.
Okay. Well, we won't get into that.
Yeah, that's cool.
But-
This is a Marvel episode.
I was just trying to pick up what you were laying
No,
down.
no, it's cool. I feel you. I
Burn
just,
everything
like I
that
said, me
show's saying.
personally, I just feel like we didn't get enough because I haven't seen much, as Greg would say, growth from Bucky and Falcon since Winter Soldier because they both were in that movie. So, and that was phase 2, and now we're at the end of phase 3, and they're pretty much the same
where they were at Phase 2.
Exactly.
I can see what you
Well,
mean. But we can go to Derek for
yeah.
his likes.
Okay,
and dislikes
mine
then.
likes I like it really gets. I like almost the whole thing. Like it gets a 9.5 from me. So what did I like mostly? I like
Yeah,
that.
girl.
No, you gotta be realistic.
Captain Marvel.
No, I thought it's stupid that like people like I'm glad she got punched. Grow the fuck up. Anyway,
Whoa.
It's like punching
that's weird.
feminism in the face.
Language.
yeah, it's like what did you prove? Like you're
Language.
cool.
Unusual. Right, he is
So
bothered.
no,
People put like so much like agenda on that character.
that's why I
It's
hate
ridiculous.
agendas. It's like just watch the movie. Like
But I mean, the actor playing her is like actually embodying that agenda.
that's
You're
different.
separating that.
You
Okay.
have to with everything.
No
Art,
one does though. Seldom do people do that.
That's why we're here.
I just got Sean Shumwell's autographed dog. I called him Goku.
That's a little
No
different.
one separates. The
That's a little
characters.
different because that's like you like him the way y'all think I like Captain Marvel.
Oh no! I don't much think about that. Like I don't
Oh.
like her enough or pay that much attention.
No,
to
people
that.
think I'm like obsessed with her. It's like I always
Are
liked
you?
her character. Well, he says it like
Like
girl.
Captain Marvel, you like that character.
I like Captain Marvel.
like over.
I was reading Captain Marvel from the 70s too.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. You like.
Was
her.
that was the haircut?
No, I mean the man. I was reading the man comic, so
okay.
it grew into Miss Marvel and all that. I've
Marvel.
always kept up with that.
No, was the haircut in the movie? Was that from the comics or was
Yes.
that just? I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't know if that was like an
Yeah.
homage to like,
Like-
Marvel's short haircut.
No, it was
or was that
she
like?
cut her recently or something, like in the
Okay.
past 10 years.
I was
Yeah.
thinking
I did like that though.
Yeah.
I did.
The longer hair is when Rogue touched it, when took her back.
Oh,
So,
okay.
but short hair is once we became Captain
This
Marvel.
one
pretty
became
much.
Captain again.
Yeah.
I was heavily digging that reference to because anytime like I vibe out anytime they keep it germane to the comics.
Yeah.
So that was
Unless it's compromising.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly facts with the rest of the plot.
Yeah, but I like that they kept what because some sequels forget what makes it like they kept it what made it Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
So you know the choreography, the comedy. It's not forced comedy because comics. If you read comics, they're making little quips at each other all the time because they're people.
Mhm.
Like they're all they have. You only have people who like you're around people who have these responsibilities like you. You have no choice what to bond with. Like with any type of coworkers.
Right. Yeah.
So I feel like the comedy isn't too forced. It was forced in some of the entries in the MCU, but with the Avengers it's fine. I liked Thanos. Like it shows how smart and intuitive he is. Be like, okay, I can fail. I'm not going to fail this time. Like my old plan was good but not perfect. I'm going to break out down to atoms.
Mm.
I like that.
I love that.
And I like that
How petty are you?
in a weird way. He's
Yo.
full of himself, but not full of himself. Like, he really just thinks he has a purpose to fulfill. It's not like he's like, yeah, I know y'all see me as evil. I'm not, and it won't even matter when I'm done.
Right.
I guess that's what makes a good villain. Then, like, we want to see it from his point of view.
Yeah,
Mhm.
not just some weirdo who wants to blow up a bank. Like,
Yeah.
we don't care. About
Like in one shot, like has the same exact powers as the hero, but just
Yeah.
like the evil version.
Right. And what I didn't like, I complain about the Natasha thing. I feel like although it didn't, it's not like it didn't send her off, but I feel like common sense tells you this like the Tony send off was more important.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like we could rationalize it all you want, but
She took like a back seat almost.
yeah, and I think that's a little messed up. I get it though.
Well, because wait, they had a funeral for her, didn't they?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. To see the fact that we're even like, wait,
Yeah,
is there a
question
funeral?
it. This is facts.
That's
Yeah.
Does we
But
have
there
to see it
wasn't.
again?
But also too, everybody was dead too, though.
what.
When she died, no one was snapped.
I
back
think,
yet.
well, yeah. So I'm saying like have a proper service. Like you have nothing but time now.
Mm. Who knows? She might get like a memorial or something. Maybe I don't know. And she get her
We're
own-
rationalizing
movie.
now.
You're right. Yeah, we're reaching. We're reaching.
Like you're not wrong, but we
Well,
didn't see it.
So real quick,
Mhm.
the part in the previews. Do you guys remember? They showed in the preview where Cap and a few different guys were carrying a casket. Was that like?
That's from Civil War.
Yeah, I was about to say, was
Yeah,
that Agent
exactly.
Carter?
Mhm.
Okay, I didn't know if that was like some sort of deleted scene from this movie or what, or like you were saying, it could have been Natasha. but
Yeah.
okay.
Okay. What didn't I like? Nah, I was pretty satisfied.
Fair enough.
I really like Ronin in Japan. I love that scene.
That was sick.
That was scene. I needed a little bit more of him though.
I wasn't a big fan of Hawkeye from like the little bit he was in the first Thor movie and the first Avengers, because like he was possessed for most of the Avengers movie, and like you had the Green Arrow, you had, I know it's a different universe, but you had so many other archers that were out there. He just didn't feel different, but like even though we were talking about Age of Ultron wasn't as great as the other films, you actually started to care for him in that movie. He had a family. He was the first person who got to take a backseat and say, I'm done with this. I have like human actual priorities like we could relate to. I have stuff to take care of.
Oh, I have one thing I didn't like. It's a little reach. It's like really me digging in.
No.
But as you're watching, because I know like it looked bleak. Like when we saw Infinity War, it's like, how can they win?
Right.
But as you're watching, it looked very winnable for the heroes.
For real?
Yes.
Yo.
It looked difficult, but winnable.
In Endgame?
Yes, it looked winnable. When everyone came back, it was gonna be a rumble, but it looked winnable.
Okay, yeah, so when everyone came back. Up until that, I was dying slowly on the inside.
Okay. So my thing is, if you looked at 14 million different outcomes, if everybody came back, there's a chance somebody could grab that glove. It feels like. I feel like there's a chance Black Panther could have been Tony, or Wasp could have been Tony. You know what I mean? So I feel like, as cool as that setup was, it doesn't feel like there's only one way for that to happen. I feel like there was maybe only a couple of ways to get to that final war, that final scene, that final battle. But
well,
see what I'm saying? I'm nitpicking a little bit.
I guess that does touch upon the time travel thing, because the possibility that Doctor Strange said Tony didn't die, so he had to have been alive.
Yes.
And none of them know. I'm sorry. None of them would have known that that's how you use the glove. Like the only people that knew how to use the glove for real were the people that were still alive, because everyone was talking about it.
Yeah, and they saw
Black Panther
guy.
But there's more.
They wished back.
But they got weird because I mean, does anyone know how to use the glove?
Clearly, Tony did.
They're like winging it.
It's like once you put it on,
right?
It's like.
But I mean, like just to do the snap, like the people who died because of the snap, I don't think they knew he snapped. Like I don't think they knew he snapped.
Okay. Did it strike you as weird that the way the time stone worked in Doctor Strange and Infinity War was literally just reversing things?
What do you mean?
Remember he reversed Vision to get the stone out. Couldn't he technically do it? Because they didn't use the glove to reverse time. They used
Pym particles.
Pym particles in the quantum realm.
Yeah, I feel like when you're doing that, it's like less, like you have to, and I like that because it's like science versus magic. To me, that's like, even on his face, like, thank you for that, because that's a very good bridge right there. Like that's, one is like, okay, so we're discovering this and we're using nature on like a scientific level to get the desired result. The other is like will. Like it's like I have complete control over what I want to happen. You control time, whereas you're working with this loophole that you found in time. So it's like, oh man, I could really talk about other stuff so I can think of a dope.
Okay. So I guess my point is, if maybe someone strong enough, a Titan or was Thanos, he's a Eternal?
He's a Titan.
Okay, yeah. Couldn't he? Maybe he can't time reverse the whole universe, but couldn't he come in his room and reverse everything we just did?
Absolutely.
Technically.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's
with
interesting.
the absolutely.
Unless
because he's only using one stone.
Right.
Not
but
okay.
Unless, like he was saying, because they failed in one of the outcomes.
They failed on almost all the outcomes.
Yeah, on almost all the outcomes, but like all those things Doctor Strange was seeing were like, if they were all separate universes, how could you rewind?
No, they're all
their universe. Just
there are possible outcomes for that universe because he's just looking ahead. So it's like he's putting all the data together and just looking ahead. Like if we do it this way, what will happen?
Which is again a form of command of the time stone. Like if you look at it like, there it is, pow, I got it.
Because the stones are still out there.
Yeah, well now they got them.
They said they had to put them back like to their respective places.
Which begs the question, where is Vision right now? But we not even get into that. Like it's like you're working with like a stream, right? And on one hand, like if you're not using the time stone, if you're using Pym particles, then it's just like, all right, you're dropping a stone in the stream and you've mapped out the trajectory that stone can go, and you're really just trying to get it to that location. Whereas if you have the time stone on a gauntlet, okay, I'm now an irrigation system, channeling the entire water process to get said stone to exactly where I want it to be, or to pull it back. And it's like, man, water really works good for time analogies. That's dope. Well done. Pat on my back.
You didn't know that?
Yeah, I did, but I'm just like, why did I not?
I told you
think
that's
about
element.
it?
Anyway.
Oh my god.
Well,
Sorry, we always argue about
no, that's all I had to really say about time travel.
Yeah,
So
I'm good too.
Yeah?
Yeah. We basically tag teamed that one.
Mm-hmm. Well done, guys.
That's my turn. Yeah. I don't know if you guys know this. I'm a sucker for time travel. I love
Trunks,
Hiro Nakamura, Peter Petrelli,
Silver.
Love time travel. Love movies. Back to the Future. Love them all.
Hot Tub Time Machine.
Hot Tub Time Machine.
I've never seen it.
I really was hesitant when I was putting my feelers out about the plot and what's going on, because before Endgame came out, it was just like, okay, how are they going to bring everybody back? Because everybody's got to come back, because we've got movies coming out, we have people with contracts, all that stuff. So, all right, then we saw previews of their costumes, their red and white costumes, and something had to do with the quantum realm and Ant-Man because of the ending credit scene of Ant-Man and the Wasp or whatever. And I was very scared, but then as the movie started to progress, I was okay with it because they did it their way, and that was it. They did it kind of not the safe way, but probably the best way they could have done it for the MCU, because we haven't really dealt with time travel at all in the MCU besides Doctor Strange and Dormammu, or Doctor Strange and the apple being eaten and not being eaten, and Vision. So we really haven't seen the effects of the time stone like that, or time travel in general. So for them to do it the way they did, I was completely okay with that, and I really like this scene with the Ancient One and the Hulk.
I love that.
Yes.
I love that they included her. You like that?
I like her. No, let me take that back. I liked how she was kind of explaining to him why this isn't going to work.
They opened a lot of doors in that dialogue.
Yeah. I like that. I like when she pushed him and Bruce came out of that.
That's when I hated it.
Okay.
That's literally right when I hated it. I was with it up until she hit him.
But that's kind of how it happens in comics.
No. I know that. I'm
Okay.
cool. I love when she does that, but I don't like how she did that and Hulk wasn't freaking out. In my mind, I'm like, yo, this could change everything. Because I'm like, you expect that this is a point in time where you know the pace of a movie, right? Mm-hmm. This is literally we've been sitting still and too tranquil and everything's too in control of the protagonist for something not to go wrong. Everything's been going wrong. Whenever they get to that point in time where it's like, all right, we're gonna go back and do this, conflict happens right there. For the conflict that was gonna happen in this little section, I didn't think it was gonna be Tony explaining to Cap and everything about how they might have to go further back. I thought it was gonna be she hits him thinking that, all right, cool, I'm just going to hit him and he's going to go right to sleep, is what happened. I thought she was going to hit him, and then Hulk's like, oh, shoot, now you got two Hulks in the city. And I was like, two Hulks mixing? What? In New York? I was like, yo, do that, please. Let me get that. And now Ruffalo got to catch him, but they still got to talk.
Oh, because they're split personality, so
See
she
what
really
I'm
knocked
saying?
out Bruce.
That's what I'm saying. I thought it was going to be okay, so she's going to hit him, and that to me didn't make much sense. She hit out Mark Ruffalo, and it's but you already...
they're one right now.
Yeah, but if there were one, then shouldn't she hit out a
a body
Ruffle Hulk?
instead
a Hulk,
an actual body or someone
Hulk.
instead of a spirit.
You see what I'm saying? They just needed to it should have just been their fused form. That was the actual projected.
The ghost shouldn't have been Mark Ruffalo.
It should have been him.
Mark Ruffalo's Hulk in Endgame.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I would have
If
liked.
you were saying
You're right.
They are one and the same.
Yeah.
That would have made more sense.
I agree.
That's the extra CGI that they probably weren't trying.
Nah, their pockets is deep. They just messed
well,
up.
then
They just messed up. Let's just call it what it is.
no excuse on my nerves.
See,
but even that, though, Greg, I think they just took this again. They took the safe way out because, what you just said, that would have been dope. But that would have brought a whole bunch of different.
I would have been here for that.
No, me too. There is. They said there's a director's cut coming off of Blu-ray. I think an extra 30 minutes.
Well, I'm getting that.
Or something
So,
like that.
would you say if you didn't see Endgame,
Sorry.
would you call Endgame predictable in the sense that at the end of Ant-Man, even middle of Ant-Man and the Wasp, they started talking about time travel and that how if she Hank Pym's wife.
Yeah.
She came out and it was like she was only in there a little bit, but she came out and it was 30 years later or something like that.
Yeah.
So would you like, because we already knew about time travel and stuff like that too. So in the sense, did you think it was predictable because we already knew there was going to be time travel in this?
I think the best things about these past two movies in the MCU, Infinity War and Endgame, is that I didn't know what the hell was going to happen.
Okay.
And I think even though there was time travel, I was just up at night thinking like, yo, how are they going to do this? How are they going to bring everybody back? How are they going to win? Who is going to die? The way they put out the trailers was perfect. The way they did the trailer trickery was perfect.
Definitely.
Even though we knew time travel was going to be a thing, I was afraid that they might mess it up because time travel is very tricky.
Yeah.
Very bad,
I love the fact, I loved and hated, the fan part of me hated it, but I love the fact that I had no idea what was going to happen. Because like you said in the beginning, we only got, those first two trailers was only clips of the first 15 minutes of that movie, and we saw that. And some of the trailers were definitely trickery because there were some things in the trailers that wasn't in the movies, and especially for Infinity War too. That whole run-up scene at the end when they're in Wakanda, Hulk isn't there. Like,
Yeah.
like that scene never happened.
That was Hulkbuster Hulk in the movie instead.
Exactly.
Deception.
Yep. Disgrace. Shout out to Lion King too.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, I really like the time travel. Going back to what you guys were saying about Cap, the Russo brothers recently did an interview, and someone asked them like, "Yo, what's up with Captain America being older and like messing up the timeline? Like, did he see himself? Like, what happened with all that?" Apparently, they did that on purpose, and that's going to be a thing. And then they're going to be bringing Captain America either back in one of the TV shows, or there's going to be some type of series going on about him in the past. Because when they were asked about it, they even said there's a lot of layers in that, and there's definitely going to be like a story for that of him, going back. And the fact that what I missed or what I thought about after I came back from the movie was that like, why didn't Bucky go up to him and say something to him? But the thing is, as soon as Cap came back, he must have saw Bucky or like met up with Bucky, or maybe they were chilling the whole time, because he was almost not impressed that Captain was sitting there. Because you would think of all people, after Civil War, Winter Soldier, all this trouble you done caused, Steven.
So
why don't you go say hi to your man with the one arm? What's up? Oh no, y'all that cool?
Wow.
So I guess since they were, so you are implying that like he probably in the past got to talk to Bucky, so that's why like he was there. He saw him there, but since he only talked, Falcon's name is Sam, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So he's only talking to Sam like in the current MCU movies, and that was it. That's all he had to deal with him.
Yeah, because I think probably what maybe happened was, in my mind, I think Cap went back, but our Cap was hiding while all the other Avengers movies and events were happening. So therefore, everything still happened the same way, except he just went so far back, and he went with Peggy, but like, the other Cap still met up with the Avengers and was in Avengers 1.
Yeah. So he lived his life.
He lived his life away from the other Cap. So because if they would have met again, it would have been, the timeline would have been messed up. So,
He was able to maintain the concept of that tragedy.
You're right.
That kept Cap being, that's dope.
Right. That's what I think.
I guess that's the hard thing too, because if you were to have another movie or a show that has Captain America in it, he has to be careful because he can't die.
Right.
Like he's not allowed to die, or else he wouldn't have.
Which Cap?
I guess.
Our Cap.
I guess I guess you know he won't be able to die because you see him old in Endgame.
Exactly.
So you know if there's a Cap movie, like he's not going to die.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's going to be a Cap movie or he's going to be somewhere else. But what were you going to say?
You know what? I was touching on that the Star Trek movie with Spock. The Leonard Nimoy one was there, and then so was the guy Siler.
You told the reboot.
Yeah.
The first one.
Yeah.
And they were kind of on the verge of breaking the fourth wall there, but they were definitely talking about like, and they could do it like that. Like, okay, so you now have a reference, like that's because that's how Siler treats Leonard Nimoy's character. Like, okay,
because it definitely connected to the original.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, this is getting real. Who's homie Khan? Should I trust him? And like, you could maybe do something like that. Like Bucky could be like, so real Cap, what's up? Like, what's really good with this scenario here? So, I I should write for them. I'd love to write for them.
Yeah, it'd be great. All right, guys. Final thoughts on Endgame, and then we're gonna grade it for y'all.
Final Endgame.
Final Endgame thoughts.
Oh, y'all playing.
Y'all
playing.
Who wants to start?
Avatar Slang. How about that?
Same
Okay.
thing.
Bender.
Yeah.
What, yo?
Do your.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, that's what they do. You should watch it. But yeah, you won't be so lost.
I don't like him.
It's not much else I can say. Like, I'm the biggest MCU supporter, I guess. Like I said, 9.5. So I guess in real life, that's an A+. That's an A.
Yeah, that's a very high A. Like,
You passed the
Mid
test.
A.
yeah.
Like super past the test.
Like, that's they get into movie horror for me.
Mm.
So
Alright. So.
I mean, I
Read
understand
on.
why. Like, what?
Read on, I'm sorry.
Basically, I guess I don't want to talk in circles. They know how I feel about the movie at this point.
I think it's pretty much unanimous that like every single person, besides like the friend of a friend I saw on Facebook complaining about the film, about how long it was, he's an idiot. But personally, like I love the film, and even though I have like more than one gripe, like you guys just helped like answer some of the gripes I had. Like I thought it was stupid that Pepper had the suit on, but you just explained like why that's a thing.
Yeah. Okay.
And the whole thing about Nebula shooting herself, like, is kind of answered for me. So, even though I had gripes like that with Bruce Banner, like, it was a great culmination of all these 11 movies. A lot of the references, like Cap just slightly moving Thor's hammer, or Falcon coming back when they opened the portal and he said, "On your left."
Yeah.
Just like Winter Soldier.
Full circle Easter eggs.
Yeah, there you go. All the Easter eggs kind of came in full circle, and it was just a great film. And I'm honestly just really excited for Spider-Man: Homecoming now.
Far From Home.
Far from whatever. Stupid title. Spider-Man 7.
He
whatever the hell
mad.
you want.
He mad. I see him.
What you talking about?
I felt it. It got dark over there.
And I'm the critical one.
That's the second time I think I've done that in this video, but whatever. So yeah, I'm just excited to see Spider-Man: Far From Home now, to see how the MCU is going to progress from here. Because besides that, I think that like Far From Home is the only confirmed movie. I know there's been talks about Black Widow movie, Hands of Shang-Chi, Guardians 3, but like
Black Panther 2.
at this point, like I'm just taking everything with a grain of salt. Nothing has started to film yet that we know of, but Avengers Endgame was a near perfect movie for me, and I couldn't be happier. I'd say a 9.5 as well.
Okay. Greg.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. I love exactly how they did to set things up. Even though like the biggest thing for this movie was like finality. Like it felt like it was an end of an era, thoroughly through and through. Even the fact that I'm sitting in the theater 10 to 20 minutes after the credits are done, and there was nothing. Finality. But they set up so many things. Like you guys are talking about what you know or what we believe is gonna happen with the future of it. That's something that the movie did. Like it's like, okay, cool. It capped off stuff, but it also is about to like launch a chain of different things. So off of that alone, like the fact that it's gonna keep putting money in people's pockets and pulling people to theaters, I'm giving it a 98. That's a borderline A+ for me. And just a side note, did y'all know that the Shang-Chi bull like trains Spider-Man in his spider like fighting style? I think that's awesome. That's a connection. They should do that. And like this is again the things that is launching off like.
We would actually have a cool martial artist in the MCU.
See what I'm saying?
Because even the TV shows didn't do that.
No, here we go. Careful, easy there. There's so many things you could do. So many things you could do. If they're doing something with Cap, like you guys were surmising, then that could be used to explain. Because I got a feeling like a lot of this has been, as we talked about before, it's been done in like the spirit of the ultimate Marvel universe. If you keep that concept, then why not introduce the ultimate X-Men? And you can do that because they're not like, they weren't mutants in like the past. Like they weren't like, okay, so everyone's got this genetic code that comes out like from the beginning of humanity.
Some midichlorians?
Yeah.
Wait, no, you can say easily? The glove brought some people back with X gene.
There's that. That could be a whole thing. The radiation that happens, because you could use science that. But like,
They're not the miracles anymore.
Oh, jeez. What's
Or
that
the
was
X gene
that
got
was Age of
what?
Yeah.
Age of Ultron. They said Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch were the miracles.
Exactly. Oh my gosh.
Well, because they were made from from Loki's scepter, right?
Yeah.
Right, but if you keep that, and that would be cool because you just referenced the snap. That could be like why they did that. I'm thinking that it's like, do you remember how they did it in the Ultimate Comics? Like Wolverine was the anomaly. He was like patient zero.
Okay.
And he was like their attempt at creating like the super soldier that was.
Yes.
Yeah.
But wasn't it like that? Oh. Okay. Yeah, you're right.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, like, it didn't work out, but, like, whatever was going on with him, they realized that triggered an anomaly with, like, everybody on the planet at that one point in time. Like, people were popping up left and right. Oh, I can control water. I can control my blood pressure. And it was just, like, stuff that was crazy. Like, it just kept popping up. So, they could do something like that utilizing Cap, Samuel L. Jackson, Nick Fury. I keep forgetting. It's Samuel L. Jackson. It's just him with an eye patch and a trench coat. Shaft with an eye patch. Tons of things they could do. I can't wait to see what they do with the X-Men. How they try to.
I thought you were gonna say I can't wait to see what they do with the Shaft reboot.
I would love to see a Shaft reboot in the Marvel.
No, it's
universe.
a
sequel.
It's a sequel.
Soft reboot.
It's definitely taking place in the Marvel universe too.
So what are your thoughts, Dev?
It was probably a better
Final
origin than
thoughts.
his origin in Captain Marvel.
Oh my god.
Final thoughts. Loved Endgame, y'all. The action was great. The story was amazing. The actors really brought it, and like Greg said, really brought it to a whole conclusion of like all these movies. And in my opinion, the MCU is definitely not perfect when it comes to making like grade A movies, but when it comes to making the movies like how they're supposed to be, and for the ones that hit hard, that really hit hard, they score every time for me. With everything being said, like I said, with the unfortunate deaths in it, the stakes, the villain, the score, the CGI, the colors that they used, Iron Man's Mark 85 armor, Lord, them shoulders, bruh.
Yep.
Oh,
that suit had all the games.
them gold.
Yep.
Oh, that was a throwback to his first armor.
Old school. Go ahead.
Oh,
Let him know.
you already know, bro. I loved it.
Top 5.
Everything about it. Baby girl call me. So I'm gonna say all that to say I'm gonna give Avengers Endgame an A. For A-Town. For Avengers. For
a good movie.
Everything.
A good movie.
A good movie.
All right.
Man, what's the numeric value on that A of yours?
On that A, that's a 95.
Oh, y'all playing, so I'm the only one being gratuitous.
That's a 90. That's a 95.
Well, if you average ours out, we all said 95, and you said
That's a 9.5 because I just thought
9.8, yeah.
I just thought I'd
you
use
transferred that
a
to
roundish number.
9.8.
Yeah.
We would be a combined average of like 9.67.
Oh. Look at him.
I believed him.
I do have to see it again to see if it's going to be in my top 5.
And
It's a perfect movie, Dev.
To see it just like
Definitely.
Ant-Man and the Wasp, just like Captain Marvel.
Definitely go back. I think people are gonna like see all of these movies in a different light when they go to watch them again. Like since Iron Man 1, Cap 1, I recently like watched like the first few Phase movies, but I started with Cap first, and then did the other movies.
Okay.
So people are gonna see all these movies in a new light now.
Yeah, definitely.
Go
Absolutely.
ahead.
Yeah, I agree. But I can't really agree because they came out and what was bad was bad and what was good was good. I'm sorry, y'all.
Here he goes.
I'm sorry, y'all. This is why I'm here now, goddamn.
Wow.
But you did acknowledge that if it was a turd, it's a turd that matters, though.
Oh.
I think that's
It's a very important piece of shit.
Yes.
no, that was my point with the bridge.
Oh.
I know I can't watch Iron Man, any of them, again, without, I'm going to start crying.
It's rough.
Oh my god.
I'm going to start crying. I got emotions, Derek.
Just watching clips is just like, it's rough.
Can't do it.
It's rough.
I can
but
probably only watch
I
fight
guess
scenes.
I don't
So we're going to forget the fact he built Ultron and pretty much committed genocide?
He had good intentions.
Oh
I know they
my
paved the
God.
road to hell, but as a person who makes mistakes as well, Mr. Perfect.
I mean, Ultron was like, everybody gotta go.
Right,
He was
right.
like,
That's
I don't care.
bad.
I don't care who it is. Everybody gotta
That's
go.
bad.
Thanos
He's
was like,
efficient.
one
Half
or two of y'all
it's-
gonna go. One of y'all still gonna be around if there's 2 of y'all.
I'll give Tony points for creating a dope villain. No.
Is that time? I think that's time for us to close.
Oh,
Yeah, we can go. I mean, I really want to grade all of them.
All of what?
All 22 movies, not now.
Okay,
One
we
day.
should do that.
One day.
We should do that. Our grades will all be drastically different. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, all Derek's are gonna be like A's and up.
No, that's not true. You haven't been listening to anything I said.
I listen. It's all on camera. It's all of it's on camera.
Yeah, I never graded anything besides this. This is our first MCU grade.
No. Did we do Black Panther? Or was I imagining that?
I didn't know you yet.
We talked about Black Panther.
We talked about it.
Yeah. But that's one we pretty much agree on. We're not like.
Stay tuned for more videos from Culture Hero, y'all. Thank you again, Justin Lomas.
Thanks for having me, man.
From JJ
I want to do this again. This is fun.
Yeah, we should.
Follow him. He brings out great.
Yeah, I'm gonna start doing some mini videos too. I think.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
You know, yeah.
Shout out to the homie all the way on the right. Y'all's left.
Listen,
Everybody's favorite.
Yo, we just ran it for
Greg
like
Jones.
half the runtime of the movie.
Yeah, we